In the United States, Veterans Day is important because it gives the whole nation a chance to recognize and to give thanks to its veterans for all the sacrifices required in serving the nation as members of its armed forces, and because these people fought for our lives, freedom, and rights. As I invite you to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
War in the air was never a stalemate. North Korea was subject to massive bombings. Jet fighters were in air combat for the first time in history. Places in North Korea were flattened, and to this day, the North sees the U.S. bombings as a Holocaust. They teach it in their schools. There was now a virtual war of attrition, much like the trench warfare of World War I. Unlike other wars, this one did not get much media attention. In the U.S., the most famous presentation of the war was popularized by a TV series, MASH, which was set in a South Korean field hospital. Its first episode, after a run for its final episode, after a run from 1972 to 1983, was the most watched TV program in the history of the day. The U.S. worked anxiously to fashion some sort of armistice with the North. The alternative, they feared, would be a wider war with China or Russia, or worse, a World War III. After 3 years of the bloody and frustrating war, both sides agreed to an armistice. A strange part of this armistice was that the POWs could choose their own fate. Many POWs chose to stay in South Korea. The war cost 50,000 American losses, and South Korea sustained 1,312,836 casualties, including 415,000 deaths. Fighting ended July 27, 1953, when the armistice was signed. The agreement created the Korean Demilitarized Zone to separate the North from the South and allowed prisoner exchanges. Some here might remember the exchange of prisoners announced for several days on the radio. Negotiations in 1954 produced no further agreement for a treaty. The de facto border between the North and the South is again the 38th parallel. No peace treaty was ever signed. Veterans of the Korean War, as was the war itself, were largely ignored by the American public. Our country was relieved after World War II. The Korean War was messy, complicated, and inconvenient. Today, we want to send a message to our soldiers of the Korean War, and any war, that we will never forget. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome home, and thank you for your service.
Flanders Fields by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow.
Between the crosses, row on row,
that mark our place, and in the sky,
the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below.
We are the dead, short days ago.
We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow.
Loved and were loved, and now we lie
In Flanders Fields.
Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, with failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high.
If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, although we lie.
In Flanders Fields.